live? Yes, we're live. Hey, welcome everybody. Sorry, we had a couple of technical glitches there a little bit earlier, but we're all back. My favorite day in the week, Wednesdays, 3 o'clock. Why? Because we're about to dig into LinkedIn and help people amplify their voices on LinkedIn. So, hey, my name's Kenneth, also known as the Hoodie Guy. And to the left or the right, depending on your screen, I have Shira, who is also known as...
The Voice.
Oh, The Voice. And known as The Voice because of Mind the Gap, her little recent visit to the UK. It seems like every time we stopped at the station and we heard Mind the Gap in London before you get off onto the train, there was a lot of Mind the Gaps, weren't there?
A lot.
Yes. So digging into today, the key thing that we want you to walk away with, those of you who are watching the video live, as well as those of you who are watching the recording on YouTube, is very often people do not get why their LinkedIn profile is not converting, why they're not able to get leads, sales, or meetings out of their profile. So what we're going to do today is take you through the process step by step from the top of the profile all the way down, and we call it signposting. So basically you're giving instructions to people as they get to your profile, and you're explaining to them why they need to do something. The thing about digital marketing is people have so many choices, and because they have so many choices, if you don't give them a instruction, they are not going to take action. So because of that, we like to, how shall we say, get them to take action by telling them to take action. So there's not going to be a PowerPoint today. There is simply going to be a live, as soon as I can find the damn button, there we go, share screen, of my profile and how we're going to go through it. So are we clear? Can everybody see my profile? Yes, I've zoomed in, so we're nice and clear. Okay, so I'm going to start right at the top on any profile. It's the most elementary thing, but so many people overlook it. If you go to the top of your profile, you have a URL. That URL is what you call yourself. It's the easiest thing in the world to fix, but nobody does it. If you go down into your contact section, contact info, you see there's a little pencil on the right here. If you click that, you'll see your profile URL, and there's a button. If you click on that, yeah, like I did. Oh, no, click on your page, Kenneth. That'll help. And it opens this. In the top right-hand here is a pencil. If you click on that pencil, you can delete those numbers behind your profile. So your profile actually just says your name.
And if you can't get your name, one of the things we've noticed is that if you do have a common name, use something about what you do or something in your title to add to that instead of the numbers. The numbers just don't look polished. And you'll notice now, once we've spoken about it, you're going to start noticing whose profiles have numbers in and whose don't.
And then as I scroll down on the side here, you'll see this thing. It says your profile's public visibility is on. Most people, well, not most people, a lot of people I see, they hide their photograph from second and third degree connections. I don't know why, because if you're trying to grow your network and you're on LinkedIn to network, you should make sure your photograph is available to everybody on the public. So that's the first thing that is absolutely important that you get sorted. Once we've done that, let's close you. Now we can start looking at the signposting. Okay, so the first thing in the middle of your screen is the hero shot. This is the banner. This is when I arrive at your profile, it will tell me if I'm in the right place. It'll tell me who you are, what you do. If you're one of the lucky people, unfortunately like me, who has a profile that has the rotating banner, great, you can rotate different messages, different images. If you don't, the one key thing I always advise everybody to put in is this little ring my bell and subscribe for daily tips. Why? Because if you don't do that, so let's go to our lovely lady, Shira, and just show you there's two bells. You got a double bell, you got off, and you got most relevant. On most relevant, your followers will hardly ever get to see your content. Whereas on the double bell, you stand way more chance. So encourage them to do that. Like Shira's got her little arrow, ring my bell. That is a conversion. That is somebody is going, yes, I like your content. I will follow you. I'll ring your bell. You've gotten them to agree with you. So that is your first win. Your next win is, your title. Now, I notice a lot of people make the mistake of, well, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I'd say it's more a choice. A lot of people show their company. So I'm going to go and add my company information.
I think it's because it's something that we always used to do. So back when LinkedIn was definitely more of a CV type platform, sharing that information there, like your university and your company, was just sort of like standard. I don't think that it was given that much thought. The problem is once you do have it there, it takes up that real estate that Ken's showing you, which is your title, real estate. And something very frustrating happens when you click on it, is it just jumps down your profile. And that's not exactly what you want someone to have to do. It just literally drops them right back in your profile and skips your about section.
So let's take pretty much anybody. Most people, they have their company and their education here. So when you go in here and you click on Swipely, notice it skips everything that's juicy about your profile. So I always tell people, remove that option so that you're not actually, let me just zoom out. So over here, it says show current company in my intro. It's a simple checkbox. If I check that and I go to save, my company is now there. The problem is I'm trying to get people to engage with my profile. And Marcus lost sound. Jerome, can you hear me? Andy, can you guys still hear me? Sherry, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Mark will share the link with you on the YouTube link if you've lost the sound there. So this little link is great if you want to brag, but not so great if you want people to engage because it jumps right past all the juicy things. So always, in my opinion, can I give it back to me? Disable it. It's a simple exercise. And now you'll also notice that your statement of what you do takes up the whole top line. So again, people are now going, okay, so this is what you do. Plus, they can't jump away from you because you haven't given them a choice. I am quite happy to drive them to my newsletter because they'll subscribe on my newsletter. And on my newsletter, they can subscribe to me, which is in LinkedIn. So if I clicked on this button, it would open up my LinkedIn newsletter. Come on, today, thank you, there it is. And I can get people to like and subscribe on the newsletter. So I'm controlling the journey of where I can get people to engage with me. Because at the end of the day, not everybody is going to buy from you the minute they arrive. So I'm coming down to our analytics, okay? So very often when people look at a profile and they go, my profile's not working for me, nobody is booking a meeting, there are other analytics that you can look at that will show if your profile is working for you. For instance, how many followers have you increased by over the last 7 days? So if you've got more followers, then your profile is converting. If you look at my top demographics, those are my targeted audience. So my profile is converting the right kind of people. If, on the other hand, my profile was showing a negative, let's go see what it shows. Okay, so my profile is continuously being grown, and that's kind of the objective of what I've been doing. So you want to make sure your profile's growing, but you want to understand that not every single item you do is going to convert into the way you think it's converting. So don't get despondent when you're not getting a meeting. Don't get despondent when you're not getting conversations or DMs. Because if people are following you, so this number is going up every day. If I go further down, if this number here is going up, so 1,491 subscribers, if that number is going up, sorry, let me zoom in. If that number goes up on a daily or a weekly basis, then it shows my profile is converting. Now, when I talk about signposting, not a lot of people have their featured section active, which is really sad. So where do you find it? If you
Before you jump down there, before we get to the featured section,
Yep.
Just a little note when you're looking at your analytics as well, is you've also got your post impressions. Now, someone will say, well, that doesn't mean they necessarily interacted with my post. That just means that they saw my post. Okay, well, how much is it worth to you to have 9,000 people see you or your business?
And let's put that into a visual effect. Remember when you went to school and you had 30 kids in a classroom? You can see how big that is. Stand on a stage with 100 people in front of you. Impressions are a vanity metric to a degree, but it does show you people are looking at your content. And all you've got to do is keep being there on the same day, the same time, so that they don't pack up and run away, because it's that consistency that gets to us every time. There is no shortcut. I'm sorry. Shira and I were talking about this today. There is like literally no shortcut. You have to do the work. You have to put the time in. You have to get your content on LinkedIn, ideally every day at the same time. But it doesn't have to be 5 days a week.
No.
Some people that we work with only show up once a week. Sometimes they only show up 3 times a week, but they show up. So coming back to the featured section, thanks for that, Shira. When you open your profile, you'll see there's a button that says Add Profile Section. If you click on that, you will see Add Education, Position, and under the recommended, you have an Add Featured button. Okay. I strongly recommend this as a soft close. And what I mean by a soft close is it's a low, come on, double, there we go. It's a low ticket item, meaning it doesn't cost anything. And if I bring your attention to the fact that over 80% of people are consuming LinkedIn on a mobile device, what that means is if this is not set up on your left and it's set up like most people, so I'm going to go to Yuri, who's unfortunately volunteered. He's done it great. He's only got 2, but they're both booking for Calendly. So if I don't want to have a meeting with them, I'm going to bounce. Let's go see if we can find somebody else that we can use as an example. And it'll be probably, there we go, William Goos, or as we South Africans would say, Willem Goos.
Goos.
Okay. If I look at his featured section, he's got recommendations. Now remember, this recommendation is going to appear first. So I'm going to read it. Hopefully I'll read the second one, but then he's got me linking off to his YouTube channel. The problem being he's put in a description here. So if I click on it, LinkedIn wants me to click again. So do you see the user journey? You're signposting your prospect away from your profile. Ideally, you want your prospect to stay on your profile. And when you view this on mobile, so if you viewed my profile on mobile, scroll down to the featured section, you'd see my newsletter. It's a thumb click and you've subscribed to my newsletter, which means I can put you in a nurture sequence and I can talk to you once a week. Interestingly enough, I don't need MailChimp. I don't need anything to send you out an email, because the newsletter goes to you both on LinkedIn as a notification, as well as to your inbox.
You're building that database, people. You're building, everyone's like, how do I build a database? And I'm like, if you just use LinkedIn, you are building a database.
Yep. and it's easy, it's secure. If you don't use automation, I can guarantee you your profile will not be blocked. Because a lot of people use the story of, oh, I'm worried that if I build up my database on LinkedIn, LinkedIn's going to block me. Yeah, if you misbehave. But all these people who've subscribed to me, I can connect with, I can build relationships with, I can see all their data. Just to give you an example, is there we go. I can see everybody who subscribed to my newsletter. Obviously, when I zoom out, you can see more details. But I can go and see all their information, and I can choose to connect with them or not. Now, you can't do that with your normal newsletter, because your normal newsletter won't give you that information. Your normal newsletter will only give you a name and an email address, and hopefully somewhere down the road, you'll get them to convert to book a meeting. So if you think about this now, my journey is, I read a post in my newsfeed, I like it. I arrive at your profile. I go, yes, I'm nodding, I'm in agreement. I like what you're saying here. I then see, oh, ring a bell to follow. Psh, not a problem. I don't mind committing to that because you're getting none of my data. Actually, you are, because I can see everybody who's followed me and I can see what they are and who they are. But that's fine. You've nodded and you've agreed. I've converted you. My followers have gone up. My metric is tracking. My profile is working. But then you scroll down and you read this and you go, oh, yep, I need to amplify my voice on LinkedIn. Fantastic. I'm happy with this. This is the right place. Let me see more. I don't want to look at the newsletter yet. So I keep going down. I get to my about section. There's a nice story. I've spoken about it. I haven't written it in third person. So it's not a case of Kenneth has 30 years of digital marketing experience, because I'm not bragging. I'm talking about your problem, the feast and famine that most businesses and sales face every day in trying to generate new business. You like that. Maybe you don't read the whole thing, but then you get to the featured section and you're on mobile. The first thing you see is my newsletter. Makes me very happy. And then I click subscribe. I now have got you following me and you subscribe to my newsletter, which means there's a really good chance somewhere down the road we can engage and have a conversation. So those are kind of like the key elements on any profile that you need to make sure. I know a lot of people talk about, oh, I've got to do content, I've got to do content, I've got to do content. It's great if your profile is complete. If your profile is incomplete, the content will drive them nowhere. Which means if it drives them nowhere, you're not exactly in a position to convert or to have a conversation. So when you are writing content, so I'm going to go to Auntie Shira, and if I go to her content, Auntie Shira doesn't have a newsletter subscribe here. Okay. Because I have a newsletter, when you go and look on all my posts, I have another call to action that I can drive you to. So signposting and the whole logic behind this is I want you to take a positive action to engage with me.
And you want to make it as easy as possible for someone to know what you do, and make it as easy as possible for them to engage with you.
Yes. You don't want to put roadblocks. You don't want to put friction. Far too often I see people put friction where there shouldn't be friction. And the most common place for friction is in the featured section. And the way you do it is it's kind of sad. So yeah, I have a link to my YouTube channel. Most people will have a description. I'm just going to put that in for now so you can see what happens. Okay. I'm going to go back to my featured section. Now you can see I've got that in. So if I click on it, now LinkedIn wants me to click view to double exit. This is what I mean by creating friction. If on the other hand, I now go back into this and I remove, let's just go edit. and I remove hi. Yeah. I love it when LinkedIn does this to me. It's my hi.
Your hi is gone.
My hi is gone. Okay, so let's refresh. Yay. We all know, relatively speaking, the more people who are watching you, the more technical issues you are going to have on your profile, or IT issues, should we say. So let's click on edit.
You will forever have hi in your featured
No,
section.
no. There we go. So hi is now gone, saved. Hi, bye. Thank you very much. I go back to my profile, scroll down here. Not that quick. Slowly. And now the hi is gone. And when I click on that, it takes you straight to the YouTube channel. So that is what we're trying to do, is to get away from friction in the wrong place and put friction in the right place. So
if you don't have a YouTube channel, you would have book a call. You could have your newsletter there. There's other things that you can do there.
Yeah. So you quite literally are able to drive people to do anything and everything that you want them to do if you give them very clear instructions and you make it simple. Ring my bell.
So now on the ring the bell, Kenneth, can we just have a look? We had someone ask the question of the bell feature. Now, the bell feature is not something you see on your own profile because you can't ring your own bell. So that ring my bell or ring the bell is something that's a design element you put onto your banner. So when you're creating a banner, or you've had one created, or you've asked us to create one, then you will have that ring the bell text actually in the image. When you go to someone's profile, Ken, I don't know if you've got someone that you're not following, we can just bring that up.
Yep.
And just show them what happens where the bell comes up. So this is the journey someone else would have if they came to your profile.
So if we go to Willem Goos. So if I said unfollow.
So if someone was landing on your profile, okay.
Okay, you see there's no bell. There's no option for a bell either. But if I click on and I click follow, the bell appears. So this will only happen when you follow someone.
And then the reason for that is that why would you want to be notified of their content if you're not even interested in following them? That's the logic.
Okay. You don't need to have LinkedIn Premium to get the bell feature. The bell feature is standard for everyone. The whole idea behind that was LinkedIn wanted people to follow, and they would then share your posts with those people. The challenge with the single bell is LinkedIn will only show your post to about 10% of your audience, i.e. of your connections and followers, whereas the double bell, most people will get notified every time you post.
So if we go to Carol, can we go to your profile, Carol Harvey? And you'll see that the bell option should be there if Ken wants to follow you. All right.
If I go there, I hit follow, your bell's right there. All I have to do is click on that, double bell, and I'm now following you.
There we go. I hope that answers the question. So the bell is there for other people to follow you and for you to follow other people, but it won't appear for you on your profile. But it's always there.
Right. So that's it, folks. Any other questions, or does this begin to make sentences? I hope it does. I know it takes a long time, and unfortunately there's a lot of noise on LinkedIn about all the whiz-bang things that you need to do. And what we want to do is just to simplify it so you can really, truly amplify your voice on LinkedIn. Okay. And
so how does that benefit me? What, to ring the bell?
Yeah.
So if you ring somebody else's bell?
So if you ring somebody else's bell and they're a person that you are following, or somebody that you want to prospect to, and you don't have Sales Navigator and you want to be notified when they post content, that's when you go and you ring their bell. And ideally ring the bell double so that you are notified every time they post. Why do you want to be notified when they post? Because LinkedIn is a networking program. So you want to build relationships. And to build relationships, you don't just go in there and walk in and say, hi, let's connect. Here's my product. I'd like you to buy it. That won't work. What you need to do is build, know, like, trust. That's why when I post, if you like my content, you leave a comment. That gets more visibility. So if you're prospecting or you want to get access, so if you want to get higher up in a business, you go to your CEO and you leave a comment there. If you want to prospect on a new client, well, same thing. You can now go and leave a comment. They'll notice you. They'll look at your profile, and then you can build a relationship from there. Yes, Debbie, I am on Premium. I have Premium Sales Navigator, but most of the features I've shown you today are available for standard LinkedIn. The things that are different between standard LinkedIn and Premium is how far back I can go. So I can see everybody who's viewed my profile, whereas the free version, you can't. I say Sales Navigator, if you want to get the most out of LinkedIn, you need to get Sales Navigator. I know it's £79 a month. It's not actually a lot of money when you consider the depth of search, and it brings in all the LinkedIn Premium functions. Plus, it allows you to search into your fourth degree, which without Sales Navigator, you can't see fourth degree connections. So that's kind of why it's worth spending the money. Not to mention the fact that £79 is a lot cheaper than Google Ads, any other form of paid media, because you can really access a massive data. So that's the time for today, folks. I want to thank you for coming through. I'd also like to offer you a way to potentially work for us, or work with us, not work for us. So
we're growing our team, Ken.
Yeah, join our team. So we have an offer that we've put on the table. So normally we charge £450 a month to write custom posts. What we're doing for everybody watching the video is we've said you can do it for £350 a month, and we'll do the content for you. Plus we give you a half an hour of coaching. And then we've also given you the option of, we will grow your network for you by, we don't use automation. We have people that actually go out there and do the networking for you and push the button, because I know a lot of people are afraid. So if you take the two options together, it's going to cost you £700 a month, which means we write the content for you, we load the content for you, we grow your network for you. The only thing you have to do is show up every morning and drop a video. So that's what we do. So again, thank you very much, everybody. I don't want to bore you to tears. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop us a note, connect with us on LinkedIn, obviously, if you haven't already, and let's have a chat. We do as well offer free LinkedIn profile reviews, so a 90-second profile review, either myself or Shara, where we'll run through your profile and tell you the key things that are missing. But I think if you got today's video, you pretty much got it. What do you think, Shara? That's about it?
I think they've got it, but we're always here if you've got questions.
So that's it, folks.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, Wednesday, same time, where we'll be talking about engaging on LinkedIn. So don't forget to come back.